Hey, welcome to the Dirty Nerdy Podcast, episode 24. Today, we are going to talk about Marvel. Is there anything else to talk about? Maybe. As you see, I'm joined here with my co-host, Steve and Avery. Steve, how was your week?
It's a busy week. Lots of stuff going on. But things are getting back to normal. Didn't really watch anything this week. I mean, we've got the episode of Julia. We'll probably watch that tonight. And I played a little bit of Horizon, but not much. So I did go to see Doctor Strange. We'll be talking about that. And I did watch Moon Knight. We'll be talking the season/series finale. We'll be talking about that later too, I'm guessing.
We'll probably talk about that before we get into Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, definitely. Doctor Strange will be at the end. And if when we get to that spoiler alert, you don't want to listen beyond that if you haven't seen it yet.
We might not give a Moon Knight spoiler alert. You've had 3 or 4 days at this point.
Well, right. But yeah,
we'll spoiler alert for
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange for sure.
Yeah. How about you, Avery? What's been going on with you?
Oh, it's been a great week actually. I'm finally getting everything situated and comfortable. My partner and I, we hired a nanny for this week, and that's helped us tremendously. That's allowed me to really focus on other things. Didn't realize how much I needed a nanny in my life, but highly recommend if you're trying to keep up with your busy life and do other things. It's perfect.
Such an elitist.
I mean, if it's in the budget, obviously it's not for everybody. I definitely get that. I'm in a special category where I can do that. But as far as gaming, I've been jumping around in gaming, but for some reason I'm on this DBZ kick. I'm not sure what started it. Maybe it's when my girl bought me a DBZ shirt, and I was like, I want to play DBZ. So I'm playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot again, going through back from level 1 and just going through the whole story. And then didn't realize that they had I think I talked about this last week, but they had an extra DLC. So let me just start over from scratch and get going. So I've been doing that. Finished up the thing about Pam, which is on Hulu. If you have not seen that, I highly recommend. It's awesome. Renee Zellweger is amazing in it. She's absolutely hilarious. I don't know if you guys know who.
Not amazing in.
Exactly, true. Which was funny. We even watched Shark Tale too after that, because she's in that as well, just for shits and giggle, right? But yeah, so highly recommend that. And then so that's it's been a really nice week. Being still being a dad, kicking ass in that, and my baby girl's growing up. She's 2 months. Finally got her immunization shots going, so she's all shot up.
Right on.
How about
right
you,
on.
Chris?
So I didn't play any video games. I had a busy week, but I did consume some media. I watched Hector and the Search for Happiness at least twice this week. If you haven't seen that movie, you need to watch it. Like the way his journey for finding happiness is absolutely wonderful. And it's not just all about happiness, because you can't have happiness without the full spectrum of everything. And it's just a gorgeous movie. Plus, it's Simon Pegg. And show me a movie that he's in that sucks.
I mean, one could argue some of those Mission Impossible flicks, but
well, you see,
that's a guy. Yeah, I was thinking, I was like,
and you know what? We could even possibly mention Star Trek, the second one.
No, you can't mention Star Trek. But
the second one was a little shitty. But
okay.
So let me redefine what I was saying.
Yeah, I want to say, be careful, because we're gonna lose our fan base.
Starred in that was ass. He wasn't a star in those videos.
True. But also be careful how we talk about Star Trek. I mean, we're going to lose our fans.
Oh, I don't.
We need our fans.
Most of the Star Trek fans realize that the movies aren't a guaranteed good thing. Like what is it? It's like every odd movie is a good one, or is it every even movie is a good one? Like
That
there's
was
some,
for
like...
the original series. I don't know that holds true. It actually might hold true for the next generation stuff too.
Oh.
Never mind. You're probably right.
Yeah, because
I know
went
that
and saw...
Nemesis one was the last next
Oh, God, I haven't
generation
seen
one.
that
The
yet.
Nemesis one looked like it was a fan film. I mean, the CGI in it was just it looked.
That's the one with the
looked like
Borg and
they
everything,
borrowed
right?
stuff from Babylon 5.
That's the one with the Borg and everything.
No. That's First Contact. That was a good one.
Okay.
The one after that was called Nemesis. It was it dealt with a clone of Picard.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
Picard,
Oh man,
and
That was terrible.
And Data
That was...
died
yeah.
in it, and it was just a train wreck.
Yeah.
I just
wanna
remember
say,
the CGI being terrible, just being like straight out of the 90s.
Yeah. I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago, like Hulu had every single Star Trek movie, and I watched them all, and the majority of them were not good. Like,
Right.
And
I mean,
I love the Next Generation. Like, I was all about that stuff. I went and saw, what was the first one that came out with Picard, where like Data got the emotion chip and everything.
Generations.
Yeah, I saw that one when I was like in 5th grade or something, and I loved that movie. But
I do have to say, I watched here a couple weeks ago. I watched Star Trek: The Motion Picture, the 4K edition. They went in and they cleaned up some of the special effects in that.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. I mean, the story's always been kind of
Yeah.
but the look of it and everything cleaned up. It made it look almost like it was a movie that was made today. I mean, there's some stuff they couldn't do anything about, like, you know, whenever they show people in windows in the ships or in the shuttles, you can tell that it's a projection onto a screen. They look very flat and fake. But like the V'ger stuff looked really, really quite cool.
That's good. I'm always amazed of how, you know, with today's technology, they're turning a lot of old films into 4K and how beautiful it looks. Like,
right,
you know, and then you go back and you look at, you know, the films back in the days and try to look at it non-4K and how just grainy and everything look. And then you look at it now, you're all like, I don't know. It's something about taking old film and making it 4K versus having current film in 4K. It's just something different. Like, I like how old film looks right now in 4K versus current. Like, it just, I don't know. It looks cool. Yeah.
Speaking of old films being done in 4K,
old, Chris.
I got this week.
Smoking Aces.
And I didn't watch the whole thing.
Have you seen it before? Or
yeah. I that's why I bought it.
Okay. It's definitely a highly underrated movie. I really enjoyed that movie.
No one talks about it. It's so good.
It really is.
It's a Ryan Reynolds movie that's really good. Like,
I think for me, for Smoking Ace, it's like a roller coaster. It's a fun ride because you get to see all these characters. You meet all these characters, and they're trying to assassinate, you know, this one dude or protect this one dude. You know, whatever side they're on. And like, yeah, you just see them pretty much how they intermingle with each other. They bumble around, and yeah, again, it's Ryan Reynolds, and you can't go wrong with them as long as you don't take him serious.
This is like the 15th anniversary re-release. This is the 4K Steelbook. It's fucking look at the back cover. This back cover,
that's gorgeous.
The shit. Like,
they did a really good job.
The inside's kind of what the inside is like the original case. Like they've got the you know, the colors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like that's if I remember right, that's like what the original DVD looked like. That was like the movie poster and everything.
Yeah.
Gorgeous in 4K.
Okay,
like,
I was literally just about to ask it, like, how does it look in 4K?
Like, oh my god! Like, this is one of the better ones that I've got. This one, Roger Rabbit. This one and Roger Rabbit stand out. The other ones not as much. And the other ones are like, Spider-Man, No Way Home. But like,
really,
absolutely gorgeous. I'm having a movie day tomorrow with my friends, and we're gonna watch that. Oh, Steve's up. we're gonna watch that one. We're gonna watch, depending on who shows up, maybe Hector again, and then Roger Rabbit because yes, and some John Wicks maybe because I've got those in 4K too, and I haven't. Yeah, I've got those in 4K, and I haven't even opened them yet.
Oh wow. Okay. No, that's dope. What time is this movie night? I feel like I should be there. I know I have
Well,
Mother Day things to do, but
so
maybe after.
this came about because I have done nothing but
Mhm.
like been on the go for 3 weeks now,
Mhm.
and life has been a tad crazy. I've got a couple temporary roommates living with me and stuff, and
Okay.
like I've just been on the go. And so everyone has Sunday off because it's Mother's Day. And I'm like, look, we're just gonna sit
Right.
on the couch and watch movies. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not doing anything. We're gonna order junk food and we're just gonna watch movies.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a plan, man. I mean, I definitely want to. It's like I said, now that I'm getting back to normality, like I don't know if you noticed, I'm still cleaning out the bed, but like I got an organizer now. Like everything's kind of putting back together. So I want to get back, functioning in the real world, so I can hang out with you guys and hang out with my friends. But yeah, no, it's cool you're having a movie night, dude. We need more of that.
So the other things I consumed this week was Wednesday. I went to
Mhm.
my first rap show with Chris
Okay.
Webby.
All right.
I went out back, had a cigarette,
Okay.
and got a fist bump from Webby. That was pretty cool because he was just going in the back door.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was just right place, right time type thing.
Definitely.
And then last night I went and saw one of my current favorite bands in the story so far, and that was a blast. God damn, that was so good.
Okay.
Otherwise, all I've done is work on music. Got a new song. I'm up to 5 now, so
Dope.
the album's coming along.
Awesome, man. You are my motivation. Like I told myself I was gonna get back into music, and I definitely need to. So that's awesome, man. Keep that up.
We need to come up with some shit, and we'll probably have to do it in person because it just works better that way.
It definitely works better when you're in person.
Yeah. And so I learned that last week because after the last show, I went to meet up with my buddy Matt, who's my drummer, and we ended up actually finishing one of the songs that I was working on. Like we wrote the ending of it, and it's cool. Like it's got like this country thing, and then it goes into like this hardcore breakdown at the end. Like it's pretty cool.
Okay.
But yeah, so let me share my screen here. I want to talk about. Let me see if I can even find it. Where's my shit at? There it is. Let's talk about this. Square Enix lost $200 million on Marvel games. Avengers will transfer to Embracer Group. So now, when I first saw this, I thought they were talking about this game in particular, the Marvel Avengers, which I played a little bit on Xbox. Most that I know about this game is technically hearsay, but I follow this YouTuber named Young Ripa, and he loved this game when it came out. And
it was a good game. I played most of the campaign and stuff.
So he loved it because when it came out, he's like, there's actually like a way to grow and become a better player through the game. And then a few weeks in, I guess the developers started taking ideas from people on Reddit, and that kind of like made it not as difficult. And I've seen that before. Like I've been on Reddit, gaming, what do they call those fucking subreddits? And like, I kind of feel Destiny 2 in the very early stages was affected by some of the shit going on in their Reddit. So I just find it interesting that these developers listen to
the committee.
Yeah, but like only one spot. Like, and it's not necessarily just Reddit, but I mean, like I'm sure a lot of them only hear the community from Twitter or from MySpace. I don't know. Like,
yeah,
if you're sourcing your info from one spot, it's a certain type of people. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, agreed. Reddit is definitely a certain type of people that I probably wouldn't want to give my whole design point of decision making from. Depending on the subreddit, there are some subreddits where that's actually fine, but I feel whoever was in charge of in Square Enix of going through that social platform of going through Reddit and Facebook probably weren't going to the right subreddit directions. I personally, I didn't play the game. I did hear really good things about it. I think the only thing I heard that was negative was just after you finish it, it's very grindy and it becomes, it becomes the whole service, service system type thing, which a lot of people weren't happy about. But other than that, I've heard solid things about the campaign. Like I heard it's really fun.
Yeah, the campaigns are great. The end game is terrible because you have to find people to play with to do the end game stuff, and it's spotty at best when you can find people. And then even then, you get people that they come into your game and they just sit there and stand and don't do anything. Yeah. Probably not for malicious reasons, but probably because in waiting for someone to eventually join the thing they wanted to do, they got up and made breakfast,
and walked out. Yeah. So I had right. So I have a very personal problem with games that highly depend on multiplayer using online service. Because at some point people are going to stop playing the game. But then there'll be a time where you might want to go back and play the game and play that other service that's exclusively only really functional if you're online playing with someone else. But if you want to just try to, play by yourself, you can't do that. And reason why that's fresh in my mind is because, again, like I'm playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and they actually added a whole new like system on there. Like they added like the card system, or like almost like a Magic the Gathering card system into the game, and it looks really fun. Like I did the whole training for it. I was like, this is dope. I want to play this, but I can only play it online. And guess what? No one's playing this fucking game anymore. So it's like I'm sitting here in this room. I'm like, well, fuck. I didn't even get the chance to play this. And I don't even have the option to just play against bots or play with co-op or something where I can just experience this. It takes that away from you. It takes literally that part of the game that you paid for away from you.
Well, and I'm going to take what you're saying even one step further. Like 10, 12 years ago, you could jump into an online game and meet up with randoms.
Right.
Whereas nowadays, you jump into an online game and actually finding like I'll say reasonable randoms is really hard. Like generally no one is ever in voice chat.
If you're not playing a Rockstar game online, then if the game is more than a few years old, you're not going to find anyone else playing it.
Exactly.
For some reason, Rockstar can put out a game 25, 30 years ago, and it's still being released on current generation systems.
Right.
But regardless of quality. What I'm trying to say is like, so when Destiny 2 came out, Steven, you and I played the shit out of that game. But I had more free time than any of our friends did, and so I was on it a lot. And when I was on it by myself, none of the randoms were ever like it just wasn't possible to actually play with a stranger online anymore. Like no one had voice chat, which is kind of nice because when you go into Fortnite and they've got voice chat, they're playing
that's
music and
mute instant mute.
But like you can't actually like connect with someone just play a game anymore because everyone's all like shut off and that's fine. Like I get it. I love like when we would play Destiny, Steven, I would love that we would all go into like make our own voice chat and everything and just did it that way. Like that was because the game chat sucks. Like in-game chat is ass on every game. So that's why everyone and you know what? That's probably why no one uses it because it just sucks.
Yeah, everyone's just creating their own parties. Like if you're on Xbox, you just create your own party or PS and PlayStation or even on your PC, like you just create your own party. But it's just becoming, a pain point, right? That most of these games we have are, these are games as a service, they're generating constant revenue, which is fine. I get that. A lot of companies that need money. Just there's a way to handle that without making it seem problematic. I can't really think of a good example right now because I don't think there is one.
By problematic, you mean predatory?
Yes. Very much so. Like so far, two negatives. The Marvel Avengers and of course GTA 5 are like the biggest headaches for games as a service. The reason why I say GTA 5 as a games as a service is because how they transition from being a solo game to exclusively doing only online stuff. Like every new content that they have is exclusively online, where unless you feel like you want to grind forever, you're gonna have to pay.
So I won't disagree with you as Grand Theft Auto being game as a service, software as a service type stuff. But the big difference between this one and Grand Theft Auto is this right here. Lost 200 million. Grand Theft Auto, the reason why Grand Theft Auto is going, because it keeps making way more than 200 million.
Very true. Very true.
Like when it was released just recently for the PlayStation 5, it was the number 2 selling game for that month behind Elden Ring.
That's insane. That is insane. This game?
I said, I mean, what? It's. I was joking.
It's close to 10 years,
30,
right?
But I think it's at least 10 years old.
2013. So the day after my birthday, 2013.
Wow. It's so 9. Wow. It'll be 10 next year.
That is insane.
That is nuts.
That is insane. A 9-year-old game.
It's like a third of my age. Yeah.
Yeah, top 5. How's that? That's crazy.
Like we're never going to see 6.
It's just printing money.
No, we're not.
When 2020 rolled around, all Rockstar could talk about was how much money Grand Theft Auto was playing because everyone was stuck at home.
Yeah,
playing GTA. Like that's nuts.
It is. It's nuts. And the crazy thing about it, and maybe I don't know, maybe I'm just it's not my demographic. I'm just not hip. Like I try to play GTA Online constantly. Like I've done it over and over. I was like, let me just try to get into it, and I can't. Yeah. Like the people suck.
I love horrible, it. I love. Yeah,
they're horrible human beings. I can't take the grind. I'm not gonna spend money on these sharks. On the like, I'm not doing that. You know, it's just I can't do it. Like it's not the mechanic, like the game mechanics. The driving is awesome. The shooting could use some work.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, but that's always been Grand Theft Auto. The shooting could always use some work.
It can use a little work, but then again, I say that for when I'm doing solo, like when I'm doing a campaign, the shooting's amazing. It's perfect. It's fine. But when doing online, it's a shit show. It's extremely hard to just. I don't know if people just really they learn how to use their auto aim or took off the auto aim, but like every time I'm inside a game, I get headshot every single time. Yeah, it's impossible for me to do anything. I'm like, I can't do this. But
you know what? I think at this point in time with Grand Theft Auto 5 Online is you have to have like a group of people that are just going to go, and that's the only way it's going to work. And I would absolutely love to try that. I think that would be a lot of fun if we had
me too.
5, 7 people or whatever. Start build our mob and everything like that would be perfectly. That would probably be a ton of fun.
mean, that's the way to do it. I mean, I get that. That's the idea of playing GTA 5 Online, right? Because like that's where they made those models, like the heist and the with the club life. Like definitely, if you're playing as like your posse, right? If you were Red Dead Redemption, because that's what I did when I was on Red Dead, the first one. We created a posse and we just ruled the fucking servers. Like it was amazing, you know. But like I felt, like if you had your group playing in GTA 5, I think the experience would be much better. And just like how you were saying earlier, Chris, right? It's just. Playing with randos, it's not fun anymore.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work at all. So playing with your crew, the experience is going to be dope. Like I can definitely see GTA 5 Online being a blast. So I was playing like with you guys, you know.
I just realized what that comes down to. That's the conversation we've had several times. Is like, video games are really fun with your friends.
Right.
So that is all the video game news because that cycle is slow as hell right now.
It is. Also, just a quick note. This website really sucks.
Oh, this website is the worst fucking website I have been on. Hold on. Let me refresh.
I feel like they need more ads. Like
they definitely need more ads.
You're right. More. I don't have enough shit flashing in my face right now. Like
more ads.
I'm not quite epileptic at this moment.
Honestly, this is like a modern day version of what in the 90s web page would look like, which is flat. Instead of flashing colors, it's just flashing
Cheeto
ads.
City's website.
And then to top that off, because like the 90s websites were lazy, this website is super lazy. Not only does it have the ads, but it has it in this small frame, the viewport. And that's just because they don't have to change anything to
mobile,
adjust for mobile or tablet screen sizes.
Yeah,
like it
exactly.
can just be the same and it just works. Lazy development.
Lazy.
And welcome to news websites.
Right.
I'm just interested in what you've been searching recently, Chris. Squarespace.
I see.
I don't know.
So
like,
I see. Just
Kanye West. Or are you getting a new wardrobe so that you can start your business with Kanye West?
When I first pulled this page up, it was full of like guitars and everything. I have no idea what's going on right now. Like, and then I had like, you know, my shirts and stuff. But now I Love in the Jungle. What is that?
I don't know, Chris. What is that, Chris?
What's interesting
I don't know.
is my version of this doesn't have the same amount of ads as you have. Like I've got an ad for Fiverr. I've got one for AMC Theaters.
But
and then I have to scroll all the way down to...
Is it as intrusive as all of these ads?
No.
No?
Oh, so maybe it's just you, buddy.
Like these are just Google ads. Like, I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe you stop browsing so much, Chris.
Maybe. But I want to talk about something a little different. We haven't ever talked about this before on this show. And you can see right there, I have a beautiful portrait of a TARDIS. I used to be a giant Doctor Who fan.
Nerd.
And I stopped watching a little less than halfway into the Capaldi run. And it wasn't Capaldi's fault. It was what's-her-face's fault. She was boring. Clara. I found Clara absolutely boring. A friend and I called her Pants. That's how exciting she was. Just like the girl from Twilight. Read the oatmeal. But someone had an interview with Matt Smith this week, and he said he would rather do Doctor Who than a Morbius sequel with Jared Leto.
Damn.
Now, Matt Smith, all right, full disclosure, I didn't watch any of the older ones. I started with Eccleston, and that was my first Doctor. My favorite is David Tennant, and Matt Smith is a close second. And a lot of that might actually ride on, I think Karen Gillian was the best Doctor. What do they fucking call those?
Companion.
Yeah, I think Karen Gillian was the best companion. Like, maybe because she was hot, but it was a great story. Like, I absolutely love the Matt Smith Doctor Who storyline. Now,
it was good. I mean, I liked Rose a lot with David Tennant.
Rose was awesome. They were all awesome. Like there was a few weak ones, but the weak ones they were shorter. Like what's her name? Her name's Naomi in Sense8.
Is that Peter Capaldi's companion?
No.
Billy or Bill?
She was a very short companion with David Tennant. Right before or right after Dr. Donna. But anyways, so I bring this up because there's going to be a new Doctor. And there has been heavy requests from the fandom for Richard Ayoade to be the next Doctor.
Interesting.
I'm all in if that happens.
I can see it.
He's absolutely all in if that happens. Like, I love the IT crowd. I even like that weird ass movie he was in with fucking Ben Stiller.
Like, yeah. It
Like,
was like The Watch or something like that.
Yeah, The Watch. Yeah, with the aliens and everything. Yeah. I love Richard Ayoade. And if they bring him in as the Doctor, there's no way I'm not watching it.
Agreed. I think that'll be a great choice. Yeah, like you said, Chris, I love him in the IT crowd. And even in the pilot failed episode of the American version of IT Crowd, he still did his thing.
Oh, I
Oh,
never
yeah.
saw that. I never
Yeah.
saw that.
Oh god, it's so
It
bad.
was just a pilot. It was just a
Okay.
pilot.
It was just a
had
pilot.
who did it have playing as Roy? The guy from Community.
Community, yeah, the very man, what's his name? He's very douchey.
You can't be a douchey Roy. Like, I mean, Roy was douchey, but yet he was so aloof. Like, it just
Joel
doesn't work.
McHale. Joel
There you go,
McHale
Joel McHale.
Oh,
was the
no.
version of Roy.
No, he's too much of a. He's too.
So to
strong of a
answer your question,
personality.
yes, you can have a douchey Roy.
No, no, that doesn't work.
But yeah, no, he'll make a great great Doctor Who. I was about to say Doctor Strange. You make a great Doctor Who.
You know what? That would be an interesting Doctor Strange too. Sure.
I mean, the multiverse is a thing now, so he could be one in one of the multiverses.
We'll get into that in a moment.
I wish they were as creative as you, Avery.
I know my creativity. It's such a gift that I try to share it to the world, but I'm also a little selfish. So,
so I don't know. I'm just stoked. Like I haven't cared about Doctor Who in a long time. I've heard that the new series, the latest with Jodie Whittaker, has just been absolute trash. Like they tried to explain the origins of the Doctor and the Time Lords and everything, and for me, that being a mystery is a big part of the show being like so good. Like it doesn't matter. Like
it wasn't really a mystery. I mean, if you watch the older ones, the pre-Eccleston ones, I mean, he went to Gallifrey all the time. There was storyline.
Okay.
There was canon there that talked about the Time Lords. What happened to them after the events of the War Doctor? That's always been kind of a mystery. We kind of know what happened, but not really.
And so they would kind of fill in those gaps. Like, I believe you and I, Stephen, went and saw the 50th anniversary in the theaters together.
We did.
With John Hurt and all of them.
Yeah.
And so they kind of like fill in the gaps a little bit. And like when they do those kinds of things, which by the way, the 60th anniversary is around the corner. Hi, welcome to being old.
I'm not old. You're old. I am young.
Well, I ain't 60, but the fact that I was there for the 50th and then the 60 is just around the corner, I can't believe it's been 10 years since then.
Yeah, you're old.
Fuck you. I don't know. I would love to be hyped about Doctor Who. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I think that's something to get hyped about. Like, he'll make a great Doctor Who. I can definitely get behind that.
God, if he was oh my, that would be yeah, I would be so stoked.
They just had that special where she regenerated. They didn't show who she regenerated into.
They never showed it until the next season.
Not always true. Sometimes.
So I know we didn't see Matt Smith until after Tenet, and then we didn't see Tenet until after when his season started after Eccleston. Now
we saw Tenet to the very last episode of Eccleston. We saw Tenet.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah, he changes, and you see him. He looks at the camera and he goes, "New teeth. That's weird."
Okay, I remember that. And then, but I'm pretty sure about Matt Smith because he just shows up at Amelia Pond's house when she's a child, and we don't know what
right.
Yeah. And then I don't remember when Capaldi happened. I was really ass chapped that Karen Gillian had ended. Like, I love the story with Amelia Pond and Rory. Like, I thought that was such a good story.
Yeah.
So I need to go use the facilities. You guys should talk about Moon Knight.
Has Avery even watched Moon Knight?
I'm about to say, I'll let Steve talk about Moon Knight to me as I nod and be like, sounds cool.
Yeah. Oh man, he's gonna have to go quick because there's not a lot to talk about. Um, well, I mean, as we know, this week was the season or the series finale.
Mhm.
They advertised it as a limited series,
Yeah.
but it really could go on into like another season. And that's been talked about on their Twitter that they refer to it as the season finale, not the series finale. So we'll
Interesting.
see. Oscar Isaac only signed on for one season.
Yeah.
He's not signed on for any movies or anything else. But I can't see how they don't use this character in some way in maybe a future Daredevil episode,
Okay.
or Midnight Suns with Doctor Strange and Daredevil and Moon Knight and all the supernatural characters that exist out there.
Mhm.
That they own, because I mean there's been talk of a Ghost Rider series or a Ghost Rider movie.
Ooh. Will
Um,
Nicolas Cage reprise his role?
Not without Nick Cage.
yeah.
With his 3D abs.
3D abs and his
Oh, wait.
massive talent.
Right.
Kevin chiming in. I would check out anything with Richard Ayoade. Hell yes. Hell
Yeah.
yes.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Richard A, which he was not in Moon Knight or Doctor Strange, unfortunately.
No.
Unfortunately.
So, it was a good finale. I mean, I tied up the story of that they were telling pretty well, but I mean, overall, I was kind of disappointed. It felt like we were at the midpoint of a season, and that there really should have been more. Like,
It should have been a movie. It should have been a movie.
Maybe it should have been a movie. Tighten it up a little bit, tell a slightly different, or it was an origin story, basically.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
The fight between Khonshu and Amunet was pretty awesome. Especially being the backdrop for the fight between Harrow and Moon Knight. Or Harrow and the Moon Knights, because we switched personalities, so we had the two different armors fighting him, and they're very different styles.
So, okay, that brings up something that upsets me greatly. We had known that there was a third personality inside of this body, and they skipped the part where he just brutalizes all of them, like the first episode.
Well, they have to skip it because Stephen Grant and Mark Spector are completely unaware that Jake Lockley even exists.
Right, but that doesn't mean they couldn't still convey that even though the audience saw it. You know what I'm saying?
We saw the movie through the eyes of those two characters, not through Jake Lockley. Jake Lockley, we don't see his viewpoint until the button.
I don't know. I feel like they could have shown that and still. It goes back. They needed Avery on the team because they needed some creativity.
Yeah. If you're doing a truly limited series, they really should have shown it. But if you're planning on a season 2, that's the kind of thing that you leave out there for a season 2.
That's something that I wanted to talk about. Homeboy doesn't have a season 2 contract. He doesn't have a movie contract.
We've already covered this, sir.
Yeah. So do we get a season 2? I don't think any other Marvel show at this point has been given a season 2.
Second season. Yeah.
And Loki has been given a season 2.
Okay. I know Hawkeye's not getting one.
Nope.
And WandaVision's not getting one.
Not going to get one.
Yeah, WandaVision's not going to get one. It's
they announced this week that Agatha Harkness is going to be getting a series from WandaVision.
Oh. Well, we'll talk about Wanda in a bit.
Yeah. But to your point, Steve, right? So you brought up a thing about how Oscar Isaac was only signed up for one season. What I did read in an article, right, that a lot of the newer Marvel actors that are coming in are pretty much, that's what they're doing, right? They're signing themselves on for maybe like 1 or 2 movies or like 1 season to kind of help free themselves from being in other projects. Like they don't want to, they don't want to lock themselves down into something where they may be going for, I think what was it? I'm trying to remember. We'll talk about that in Doctor Strange, but one actor in particular, actually only signed up for just, 1 movie or 1 scene because of his reasons of wanting to be in other movies. But
who's that?
But that's in Doctor Strange. So
which actor?
Yeah.
Well, which actor? Who are you talking about?
I can't think of his name. Quiet Place.
The Office.
Reed Richards. John Krasinski.
Yeah. Thank you.
Spoiler.
I was trying to remember his name and not. I was trying to remember his name because that is a spoiler. Yes, John Krasinski. John Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
Yeah. He talked about that.
He was great in The Office. I loved him in The Office.
Yeah.
And the Quiet Place was
Jim.
really good. Yeah, Moon Knight was a thing. I would have liked more Moon Knight. Like, I mean, I don't know. I like superheroes in my superhero shows.
Right.
I did like at the end how like Mark and Steven with the V figured out how to work together and they could like switch between each other so quick. I thought that was pretty neat. There could have been a little more. Like, I know the previous episode was kind of development into that, but they didn't like talk to each other much as far as how they were going to work all that out and become one-ish, even though they're not one. Yeah, it was all right. I've seen worse.
If it goes on to have a season 2, fantastic. Then this season is better. It's better as a lead into a season 2.
Okay.
If they leave it standing as is, and we never see the Moon Knight again or Jake Lockley, then it's a complete miss.
So
in my book,
what was the name of the alligator god?
Aminette. Or
I was
Armit,
a little confused.
Aminette.
I think it's Amit. I don't know.
Or Amit.
But in that fight, I was a little confused because it was like the alligator had 2 tails. The hair was kind of a tail as well as its actual tail. Like, I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
So, Moon Knight's over and done. What is the next Marvel show?
Miss Marvel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of
We've
which,
got later this month, we've got Kenobi starting, and then
Right.
shortly after Kenobi, we've got Miss Marvel starting.
So, speaking of the Marvels, they delayed that another year.
Well, they swapped it. Their Ant-Man is going to be coming out where the Marvels would be.
Right. But like, they already pushed it back to begin with. One, it was supposed to be Captain Marvel 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then they switched it to The Marvels. And they pushed it back.
Well, I think that was more of just a placeholder name. Captain Marvel 2 was kind of a placeholder for what they would eventually name it. Because Doctor Strange 2 was a thing for a very long time until it became Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
His name is still in the title, whereas Captain Marvel is not in the title. It is The Marvels, and whatever the fuck that means.
Well, I know what it means, and we'll talk about that when it comes closer.
Right.
But it's a storyline. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Speaking of the Marvels, let's get into Doctor Strange because there's a cameo there that I was like, why didn't they do Marvel? Like, spoilers.
Yes.
Hi.
Countdown. Do the countdown.
At this point in time, we're going to talk about Doctor Strange, and it's going to get heavy. So if you want to go see it, go see the movie. Don't watch this. Check out my review that I made the other night. I I do a really good job. I feel I do a really good job not doing any spoilers in my reviews, so that like
No, you do a horrible
anything,
job.
like,
Very good
This
job
movie
this time. I didn't watch it until after I'd seen Doctor Strange, but even after I watched it, I felt like I could have watched it beforehand.
When I do those reviews right after I go see the movie, I do the best that I can to not use any sort of words that might pop, like, you know, oh, there's a twist, you know, back to the IT crowd.
Yeah.
Like I try to like avoid certain vernacular that might bring someone that might you so you don't go into something expecting something or seeing something. I just want it to be as pure as possible when I do those videos.
No, you do good, bro. I like it.
So let's talk about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Let's do it. It's a crazy ass movie.
It was a wild movie. It was a wild movie. And you know what? So in my review, there maybe the most spoilerific thing I said was there's parts where it feels like a horror movie.
Yes.
Well, you know, and what's interesting is the original director left because
Okay.
he wanted it to be more horror-ish.
Interesting.
Damn.
Interesting.
You know, that was the direction he wanted to go. They wanted to keep it less so.
Like I said in the video, it's Disney. You've got kids and everything, and you can't make it too intense because otherwise you're gonna have crying kids in the theater.
Well,
right.
I mean, I feel like they proved that wrong with this movie because even there was times I was shitting my pants and there was kids in the movies and they were perfectly fine. But I feel this, out of all of the Marvel movies, this was definitely the darkest.
Oh,
yeah.
Like big
By
screen
far.
Marvel movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
When they're running through those tunnels and she's all bloody and everything, like damn.
Right. Like so because like you mentioned, right, they want to go direction more horror, and it was funny as well while I was watching the movie and like looking at the direction, like the cinematography, I was like, this looks very familiar. Like why does it look very familiar? And then I'm like, Drag Me to Hell, Sam Raimi. I was like, is this Sam Raimi? And then I look at the credits. Yeah, I look at the director. I was like, oh, it is. Or I was like, this makes sense now.
Yeah. Very much an evil. They grabbed the guy who, you know, he did the Evil Dead and Army of Darkness.
Yeah. Bruce Campbell.
He's no stranger to Marvel. He's done a Spider-Man movie. He's done 2 Spider-Man movies.
I would say he's done a couple.
Yeah.
So I need to watch Drag Me to Hell, is what you're saying.
Actually, you should watch Drag Me to Hell. That's an underrated Sam Raimi movie that I enjoyed, that I actually didn't give a chance first, and then I saw it and I was all like, holy shit, this is awesome, because it's that campy horror of Evil Dead, just with the modernized, you know, upgrade of it, and
like maybe Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, it's like that, but not too nose on where like they know like it's kind of satire, but still pretty good enough for him. Like, oh yeah, this is a Sam Raimi horror movie for sure.
Okay.
So, I really liked it. There, you know, my opinion is this. I'll give it my rating. I will give it an 8 out of 10, but I'm only going to give it a 3 out of 10 as far as the multiverses. I really felt my biggest problem with the movie, and we talked about this earlier, was you know, you were talking about how people were upset that there weren't enough cameos. There were a lot of cameos. I just didn't feel like there was enough multiverse. Like we have that one scene where they go. We had that one scene where they went crashing through all of the different planes of multiverses. I would have liked to have seen some of those just a little bit more. You know, there was what looked like a Savage Land with dinosaurs. The Paint universe, which I would love to have seen a little bit more of.
Except for they have a hard time eating in the Paint universe.
You have a very hard time eating in the Paint universe.
They talked a lot about food in this one.
It's truly did.
All of that I would have liked to seen more of.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time walking around on streets that I think could have been edited out and given us a little bit more view of the Multiverse of Madness. Because my opinion, it was Doctor Strange and the multiverse. There was no madness.
Agreed.
And I would argue it was America Chavez in the multiverse, not so much Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Same
Yeah.
with, or you can even go Scarlet Witch and the Multiverse.
Mm.
Well,
They definitely had more
remember,
story than Doctor Strange did.
Well, Doctor Strange had a story. He had it is a setup for
supporting
his
role.
third movie.
Mm-hmm.
Is he happy being Doctor
Is he
Strange?
happy? Yeah. Yeah.
And
Which, yeah.
there was definitely the hero's journey there. We just didn't get quite the payoff that
Is
we
he
wanted.
happy being Doctor Strange? Is he happy being Thor? Is he happy being Iron Man? It's getting a little repetitive.
It is a recurring theme,
hero's
but
journey.
that is literally that is the hero's journey. Which, I mean, again, call me a sucker. I love simple. Give me the simple hero's journey and give me the process of a character.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that too, but like there's got to be something else that comes in to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like Doctor Strange, he was an asshole before he was a mystic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that was dealt with. You
that was
can't
dealt
expect
with.
to see that now because that was dealt with in the first movie.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is like he went through this whole thing in the first movie, and this one, like, he had to deal with like every version of himself is an asshole.
No, only he only dealt with 4 versions of himself, but
they made a point with the Illuminati, spoiler, that they pretty much said like,
any version of Doctor Strange is considered dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, they consider any version of Doctor Strange dangerous. Obviously, he proved them wrong.
Right.
But here's the thing.
And
every version of Doctor Strange has to be the man holding the scalpel. When you're the smartest guy in the room, you can't help it that you're the smartest guy in the room.
Right.
Well,
I think that was probably, I feel like another payoff, right? More than just like, are you happy? But it's also the fact that he allowed himself to have help, right? Because during the end, when he was going through his zombie version of himself, which I thought was pretty fucking awesome, he fucking asked, I can't fucking think of her name in the movie. What's her name?
America Chavez.
The hot one from the Notebook.
Yeah, what was her character name? I know it's Rachel McAdams. But like, what's her actual name?
Rachel McAdams. Yeah. Steve got it.
I was like, what's her actual name? He asked. He's like, I can't do this alone. Like, I need your help. And that's I think to me is a huge step for him because again, he's usually the one holding the scalpel. He's the one doing everything. So for him to be like, nah, there's no way I can do this by myself. Like, I need to like give away some power.
So here's a fun conversation we can have about Doctor Strange.
Okay.
I am a big believer in the phrase, if you find yourself to be the smartest person in the room, it's time to find a new room. Is there a room where Doctor Strange could find that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
I think Tony Stark and Reed Richards.
I was literally saying, I was like,
and we can include, Bannon, sure, whatever his name is, fucking Hulk,
Bruce Banner,
yeah.
But then again, now you just have like 4 snarky, dudes trying to just outbid each other. And
so let's talk about Reed Richards. Spoilers: Reed Richards is in Doctor Strange.
In the most spectacular way.
I don't think he was snarky in that.
No, he really wasn't.
It was John Krasinski being John Krasinski.
It really, it was.
He's very much somber.
Okay,
I think is a proper word.
Well,
like
you have
how he
to
presented
remember
himself in The Quiet Place.
Yeah, this is also a universe where they've made some hard choices.
They've been through some shit.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he's not super happy with the choices they made.
Yeah, I mean they all seem very.
I would love to. I would spend some time. I would love to spend some time in that universe with the Illuminati and everything.
To Steve's point, right? Like the movie definitely needed more multiverse stuff versus what we had, where it's just they're on the streets of New York with some flowers, or like it was not enough exploration as far as it to give it the title multiverse. Madness of Multiverse, except for the one scene that they did in pretty much any movie, or The scene where they actually, go through the multiverse and all that stuff reminded me a lot of the scene from the first Guardians of the Galaxy, or second one. Was it the second one when they were like warping through?
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of that.
Yeah. I can see that. I can definitely see that. So let's talk about those cameos. We've got Reed Richards that we've talked about. We've got Black Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
First time ever seeing him. He was in original uniform.
Not the first time. He was in Inhumans. He was in
that terrible Inhuman series that I think they're just pretending doesn't exist.
Yeah, I think we're just writing that off.
Right. I did mean in a movie.
Look, yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
I didn't watch Inhumans.
It's cool. You didn't miss anything. It's horrible.
Okay.
No one did. That's why we've never even really talked about it until right now, and we're only talking about it in the past tense. So.
Right.
It existed.
There was another Captain Marvel.
The Captain Carter.
Female.
Well, there's Captain Carter.
I would have liked to have seen. Why not do Marvel for that? Like, why
would you do Marvel?
With the long hair? Yeah. Because that's where Captain Marvel came from. Like, that was the origins with Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but there's reasons behind that. Marvel is the only superhero that's ever died and never come back. He got cancer, he died, and he's never come back. Marvel has
welcome
been
to the
dead
multiverse.
Yeah, guess what? In comic books where they developed the multiverse, he's never come back. He died and he was gone. Marvel died and he was gone.
Right. I hear that. Oh, I know why they didn't do it. Because they would have had to give someone money.
I mean,
sure. I'm fine with Monica. I think it was Monica Rambeau who was Captain Marvel in this. And I'm fine with that because
was that the same woman from Captain Marvel?
From Captain Marvel, yeah, that's her. That was her friend.
I thought her friend was bigger, but I haven't seen the movie in forever. Maybe she lost.
It's been a while since I've seen it too, but
it's the same actress.
The obvious cameo that we got to see is Patrick Stewart reprising a role that he originated in Professor Xavier, but not Professor Xavier from any of the movies we saw. He was Professor Xavier from X-Men '97. They played the theme.
Oh, right, with the wheel.
Theme, right. And he was in his yellow chair, which I thought that was really cool. The theater went nuts when he came out. Like
it was
when
great.
He pulled through. I was myself. I was like, "Yo, it's so dope!" But it was really.
Was your guys' theaters full?
Oh yeah, mine was packed.
My theater was full. Yeah.
So I went to the very, very first showing right down the street from my house, and it was like half full.
Yeah, mine was packed, which was great.
Yeah, mine was full. You went in the afternoon, Chris.
Yeah, I want to
no one goes in the afternoon.
In the afternoon on a Thursday, some of us have to go to work.
We have lives, Chris.
What are you saying, Avery? What are you saying?
We have lives. Says one who works from home constantly. We have lives, okay, Chris? You can't do things like that.
You work from home too.
I know. Whatever. Yeah, but
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You got nothing?
No,
because I want to move on to Wanda.
Go for it. Let's do it.
She wants to get back her kids that never existed.
They existed to her, and they did exist. They exist all throughout the multiverse.
Everyone makes excuses for that horse shit. They didn't exist. And Doctor Strange, and by everyone makes excuses for that, I mean like Doctor Strange made excuses for it. Mm-hmm. Like they're trying to reason with her stuff, and like I heard an interesting idea. Why doesn't she go and find a universe where Vision is a thing, and he doesn't have his Wanda? Why not try that? Why not?
She still needs America Chavez's powers to go to that universe. And then her justification for taking them is, what if someone gets sick? Well, if someone gets sick, I want to be able to travel the multiverse to find the cure.
So that's another conundrum, is she wants to kill She wants to kill a child.
Yeah.
America Chavez is a child.
Well,
They
she-
point
well,
that
she
out
spent time with
several
her
times
children.
to her.
Yeah,
It-
Wanda
it-
said she's all like, well, she's not necessarily a kid. She's a what like I forgot what she actually said, but she was saying she's a being. You know, she's a meta. Or I forgot what she had said, but yeah, Doctor Strange made that comment. Like, you would really kill a kid, and she, let's be honest, like she's not a kid. She's man, now I wish I remember what she said. I'm brain dead, but they did kind of went through that reasoning.
She's evil. This bitch is evil.
Oh no, yes, it's evil. Yeah.
And is she dead?
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably
But
not.
she's away for a while.
Yeah.
Because so like I remember when everything's crashing down on her,
There's like a
and then there was
blast
all of a
red.
sudden this other red glow that comes out of the middle of the collapse after
Yeah.
like, you know, it's been collapsing, and then all of a sudden you get the red
The explosion.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
And it's
we'll
like-
see.
We'll see.
that's probably her
In
protecting
comic-
herself type thing.
Look, you have to remember, in comics, unless you're Marvel, no one is ever dead.
Right.
I
You
get
can
it,
even be
Steve.
you can even be a
I get it.
zombie.
Just put it in my face,
Yeah.
all right?
You can even be a zombie and still, all right, be back. Be back from the dead.
Well, now, we've jumped over to talking about Scarlet Witch, but we skipped over, in the very beginning, my favorite line in the movie is Doctor Strange. You know, initially they're being attacked by these weird creatures, dimensional demons, whatever.
Yeah.
So, you know, he knows he needs help to fight them. So he goes to Wanda, who's, you know, somewhere off in some place, trimming apple trees, and he goes, "We need your help." And she goes, "There are other Avengers." And Strange gives the best line ever. Yeah, but given the choice between the Archer with a mohawk and several bug-themed crime fighters, or one of the most powerful magic wielders on the planet, it's an easy call. I loved that line.
That was
my
great.
entire theater bust out laughing.
Yeah,
'Cause,
that
you
is
know,
true.
bug-themed
That is
crime
true.
fighters,
Doctor
that
Strange.
explains it.
Yeah, that is true. Doctor Strange in his spirits. I love it. It's snarky. It's sarcastic. It's still like he's like, even though he's gotten over the being the you know, snarkiest dude in the room, he still kind of has that, you know, as you know, him being the mystic being.
So
Mhm.
on that note, there was something that I appreciated about this movie. I didn't mention it in my review. It was in my notes, but this isn't like overly burdened with that campy Marvel humor you get in a lot of Marvel movies.
True.
I was really happy to have a break from that.
That's true.
There was moments, and that line that Steve brought up is kind of one of them, but it's also really well thought out.
It's really well thought out, and I feel it fits what Doctor Strange would say in that scenario.
It's not a one-liner
Yeah.
like a Chris Pratt or a Thor.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw out a question.
Do it.
Are we willing to just let Wanda imprison an entire town inside of their own minds and not have any repercussions?
I mean, that doesn't happen in this movie. So you're talking about WandaVision, which we've never
Right.
reviewed.
But it's brought up in this movie and that scene that you were just talking about.
It was
And
brought
Doctor
up.
Strange just dismisses it like, oh, whatever. You were just doing what you had to do.
No, he didn't. He didn't dismiss it, but he did. But he had a bigger threat on the horizon.
Yeah.
And he wasn't there to
Right.
talk to her about that at that time.
Yeah.
So
Obviously there are repercussions. It was the impetus. That entire series was the impetus for her slide into the villain of this movie.
yeah. So had
But
they have actually,
There was also you have to admit there was more than one Scarlet Witch in this movie.
Yeah.
There was a Scarlet Witch that stood between. Well, she wasn't. There was a Wanda Maximoff that stood between the Scarlet Witch and those children at the end of the movie, and
Yeah.
was willing to fight for those kids and protect them from what she saw as effectively a monster.
well, her kids
Right.
are real.
Yeah.
But so like the reason why I bring that up is because how much of this could be avoided if they threw her in some sort of cell after she did that thing, and like she doesn't go and like she literally lost her shit. She lost her shit after WandaVision. And
How much of
she
it-
was losing her shit in WandaVision.
So they talk about the 5-year blip where everyone disappeared. How much of that could have been avoided if they would have just smashed one of those Infinity Stones or rocks or destroyed them? You know, we can go. You can stop every single movie from happening
if you add reasoning.
Right, but like, okay, so okay, sure. Why didn't anyone think of destroying? Why didn't
because
Doctor Strange had the damn time stone this whole damn time? Why didn't he do something about it?
I will tell you why. Because if they imprison Wanda at the end of WandaVision and lock her away in some mystical prison, then we have Doctor Strange and the multiverse of not much of anything.
You know what? Actually, maybe we had an interesting story where Doctor Strange had to bust her out.
No,
that wouldn't. I don't know.
And so like maybe hear me out. Maybe instead
we don't
of
need
him,
a prison break movie.
maybe
right
instead
now.
of him putting it all back together, like you know how like the multiverse, we got it in No Way Home, right? And so maybe,
just a touch of it.
Right. But so like it opened up in No Way Home though.
Right.
And so maybe they do the cliche thing where he closes it up, but there's like this tiny little rip. And then Max Moff's in jail and he's like, I need this broad so I can close this shit because it just keeps leaking. Like,
right. But what did you possibly run into the same issue where you break her out of jail, but she's still, cuckoo in the head where she's like, I need my children. So she takes the opportunity of that crack to go to the multiverse to find her kids. And it's kind of still the same issue where now Doctor Strange has to stop her. He's like, I made a mistake. This was a bad idea. And you kind of have the same, in a sense, different opening, but you have the same movie.
That would give an interesting dynamic to it because he went and saved her and then she screwed him over. Whereas now he just went to her from help and she just screwed him over. You know what I mean? Like he's like, hey, what do you know about this? And turns out she knows everything about it.
But she's the one who's doing it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. That
would have been an interesting discovery.
It would have been an interesting discovery. That definitely would have been a really different take. But yeah, I mean, like Steve said, I feel like we don't need another Prison Break movie. It's fine.
Well, all right.
If I'm going to watch a Prison Break movie, it's got to have Rocket in it because he's the guy to get you out of a prison.
It's got to have who?
I need this, and that man's arm.
Right.
Well, like, but what about Sean Connery?
Well, he's dead.
I mean, I know he's dead, but like, I mean, look, Princess Leia is still in movies. Just
and he technically didn't break anyone out of prison. He broke into prison.
Into a prison, yeah.
But
completely different.
The only reason he was able to break into it was because he broke out of it.
Yeah, but we never saw that movie.
We never saw that part.
We did. It was with Clint Eastwood.
We don't know what he did. We don't know. We don't know if a guard actually just let him out. He just paid someone off.
Was it Clint Eastwood that was in the movie about the people breaking out from The Rock? It was old. It was like early 80s, maybe.
I don't know. Let me see. You know what? So yeah, Sean Connery.
No. Sean Connery wasn't in it. This was. People breaking out of Alcatraz.
Okay. I got you.
I'm gonna Google "breaking out of Alcatraz" movie, and it's gonna come back with The Rock.
The Great Escape.
Oh, Escape Alcatraz, 1979.
Oh yeah, that was Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's one of my earliest movie memories.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Going back to it though, I mean, it was a good movie. I would have liked to have seen more multiverse. I would like to see more weird in it than we really got. I mean, we got some cool villains in that ribbon guy at the very beginning. I can't remember what his name is. Goromoth. Starfish eyeball.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I definitely would have loved to see more of that, right? More monsters, more exploration of the multiverse, But for what it is,
and maybe we see that, because did you stay for all the all of the post-credit
yeah,
scenes?
when he meets up with Clea.
Yeah,
so yeah,
so we
maybe
get to see
maybe the third one.
Cleo, and we get to see, and Charlize Theron. I mean, that's actually kind of cool. I kind of like her as Cleo.
I do too. I think it's a good match.
You know, she's one of those people that can move through multiverses too. So I mean, who's to say we don't get to see something happen there?
Yeah. No, I thought that was right. And I know, so one thing I thought that was really cool too, with them being in the multiverse and meeting the Illuminati, right? So you saw, Captain Carter, which I thought was pretty cool because she got introduced in the What If series. So I thought that was really great. And to kind of see her in action, that was really awesome. But the part where I was like, holy shit, this got really dark, was when Scarlet Witch just murdered all of them in the most brutal way possible. I was not expecting that at all.
Mr. Fantastic and Black Bolt probably had the most brutal murders in that, because I mean, shredded and blowing,
blowing your
own brain. Are pretty awful ways to go. I mean, compared to that, Captain Marvel got an easy, a quick death.
Right. Just, quick slice in half and done with it, which to me, it was a little emotional for me only because, I was watching the What If, and like I was watching with my mom a few times, and I was like, I really got into the Captain Carter character. I was like, it's pretty dope. And then to see her get cut in half like that, I was like, damn.
Now, we don't know. This may not be our What If Captain Carter.
Right. True.
There could be several multiverses
look like it, but you're right.
Yeah. That being said, I don't see there being a Captain Carter movie anytime soon.
No, they got to do Falcon America.
You said Falcon America.
He's Captain America.
Falcon America.
Black Falcon.
There will be a new Falcon.
Chris. Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't like that they made him Captain America. He was his own thing, and then he had to become Captain America. Like, why not just stay the Falcon? He was fucking cool as it was. Like,
right, but you got to remember, they're following some storylines that have been around for decades.
Doesn't mean they're good.
I argue. I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier told an amazing story about race and culture in the United States right now. I know you don't like that kind of stuff. I thought it was amazing. Dating back to stuff that happened in the 60s, it covered some great stuff. And Sam almost makes a better Captain America than Steve, because Steve is a Captain America from the 1950s. Sam is a Captain America from the 90s that I grew up in.
Right.
I don't think he's from the 90s. I think he's from the 2020s. At least the Steve Captain America or whatever his fucking name is that we're getting now. I don't think he's from the 90s in the movies. I don't know the comic book run, but yeah.
Are you talking about Chris Evans' character?
No. I'm sorry. Fucking what's his goddamn name? Falcon. What's his fucking name?
Sam Wilson.
Yeah. I don't think what we're seeing him represent is from the 90s by any means. I think it's definitely current day.
No, it's from the 90s. If you go back and you read some of those early Falcon comics where he becomes Captain America in the 90s and the early aughts, the themes are very much spot on with the themes of those comics.
I'm gonna go find some.
Okay, I recommend it.
You do that.
I recommend you find there is one, and I'll have to look it up and get back to you about it. There is one that deals with that character who was Captain America in the 60s.
Do you know the name of the run by chance?
I don't.
Okay.
Not off the top of my head.
Can you find that for me, maybe?
Yeah, I'll look into it. I'll send you over some recommendations. But we're getting off the topic of Strange. So, we talked about
Well,
the
I feel like we've kind of battered.
We've seen what leads into
Yeah.
hopefully Doctor Strange 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Spoilers. Once again, we're going to talk about some post-credit shit. I don't remember the first one. All I remember is the second one. Or maybe it's the first one I remember. I don't know. I sat through both of them. The broad that shows up with the purple blade.
Cleo.
From where?
She's from Doctor Strange comics.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's the Sorcerer Supreme in the Dark Dimension. Right?
Okay, because I didn't look up any of this stuff. I like being an outsider.
Yeah. No, she very much exists in the Doctor Strange universe. Her and Wong and Doctor Strange are all very much intertwined and tell a lot of the stories go hand in hand.
So why? Okay, so I see the purple blade, and it does things, and like she's very purple herself, with the makeup and everything, and like why purple? Like I feel like the colors serve a purpose. Avery, correct me if I'm wrong here. Like, I mean, because the Doctor Strange, she does all his magic and it's all like gold and stuff. And Maximoff does all her magic and it's all red. And so it's all different stuff. So like, what is her magic?
I don't know too much about the character, like as far as what she does magical wise, but I feel as far as, well, I know like that's her color in the comics is really purple. But if I was to understand the color choice and color theory of that, her character seems to be more like not necessarily royal based, but just more self-assured, like just powerful in her own, powerful in her own.
Born into being a sorceress, whereas a lot of others kind of fall into it. I'll tell you the other reason why we have purple and red and gold, because if you ever watched the original Transformers movie that Michael Bay did, where all the Transformers were gray, and so when they would fight each other, it was just a massive gray.
It was a massive
right.
It's terrible design if they were all fighting with gold.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to give Marvel credit for actually thinking something through. I just feel like, because Wanda's magic is very different from Doctor Strange's magic.
Right, because Wanda's magic is chaos.
And so chaos.
I'm just curious what the purple magic is. And you're right. Chaos versus order. That red versus gold.
Red versus gold.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what's purple? Like that was just something that just stood out to me. Well, so I like purple. But like I felt like that was just so, it just stood out so much, that color. And it wasn't like it was overused or anything by any means.
No, none at all.
I got you guys Googling.
You guys do research. Yeah, but it's, I mean, like what Steve was saying, right? It's the whole born into being, in a sense, royal, and purple is associated to that.
When he said that, I didn't even think of that, because purple is definitely a very royal color.
Yeah, very royal color. It ties to a lot of wisdom, which she seems very wise. Like she comes through and is like, "Look, you created an incursion. I can handle it myself, but I can definitely use your help if you're not checking about it." Like she's very just, she's brave. She's just she's very self-assured, and that's definitely a color associated with purple, with royalty.
And in the Infinity Stones, purple is it's the Power Stone.
It's Power Stone, yeah.
So, if you've got red, which is the Reality Stone, which Wanda has, and you've got, the Time Stone, which in the movies was green.
Green, yeah.
But, it's also been that orange color. The Soul or the Time Stone have been orange.
Wow. Yeah, because and so that orange matches more of the Soul Stone, matches more to Strange's powers.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
the Soul Stone's not supposed to. The Soul Stone should go to it should match more of there's a character named Adam Warlock, which hopefully we'll see. Well, we definitely will see in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Should have been an Endgame.
Should have been an Endgame, definitely. Yeah. So should have the Silver Surfer. He got replaced by the Hulk. So,
I want a good Silver Surfer so bad.
I want to get Galactus.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, that's the Fantastic Four. Hopefully we'll get John Krasinski and the coming of Galactus. And
I bet you money we don't get John Krasinski. I'll put $50
I don't
on it
know.
right now.
I just read an article where it says that he's interested. He
I would love
wants
it.
to be in the Marvel universe
I would
more than
love
just a cameo.
that would
be great.
That would make me happy. I don't see it happening. I don't know. Maybe.
Why don't you see it happening?
Because they've already said that the next Fantastic Four is not going to look like the Fantastic Four that we've all known.
That's fine.
I'm good with. I'm fine.
The last one
with
was terrible. The last one was terrible.
No. That's not what I meant. They mean literally look like. They're talking identity politics bullshit.
Well, they did that in the last one, my good friend. You may not.
I guess you could say Sue Storm wasn't white, but I mean it's Jessica Alba. Otherwise, I mean the Thing is whatever. But like I think they're gonna get heavy into identity politics, which is what they do. This movie was heavy into identity politics with Doctor Strange.
I know what you're talking about. And that existed. I mean, that existed with the America Chavez character. Always been from a universe where that was the way it was.
Right. But that's also recently introduced as far as the grand scheme of comic books. Moon Knight's cringiest part was identity politics. Are you an Egyptian superhero?
That was awesome. Moon Knight is the first Jewish American superhero.
Cool.
Literally.
They didn't point it
out.
In
the 70s, they created him and made him,
Right, but they didn't point it out. They point that shit out to score points. It doesn't matter. Like, she was cool. I didn't need to know who she was. I didn't even know what she was or whatever. She was just cool with what she was. Like, I didn't. They do these things to score points with fucking bullshit.
That's your opinion.
None of that matters. Look, I love Luke Cage.
Luke Cage is
awesome. I don't care if he's black or not.
Yeah,
but
Chris.
Yeah, but here's all right. So I have to.
Yeah, please, Avery.
This sounds better coming from you than from me because Chris and I come from the same place.
I have to be on Steve's side on this one, Chris. I'm sorry. But there is an importance of having Luke Cage character be known that he's a black superhero. There is a thing of having identity, like be able to identify with a said character that you're watching on screen. It was and yes, sure, it was very heavy politics, but it was needed at that time for what we were going through in America.
Are you talking about the comics or the TV show?
The TV show, both actually.
Okay,
yeah. Because even in comics, it was the same as well. Like he was established as a black character for very important.
He's an original black character. Cool.
Yeah,
awesome. I love it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I know we discussed it before. We discussed about this before about having identity politics and just politics in general and shows and stuff. But I feel with characters like America Chavez, with characters like Moon Knight, with characters like Luke Cage, I think it is important to have. And yeah, you're right. And Miss Marvel, I think it's important to have those established. Maybe not, like a blurry blown, thrown into your face. How some shows and movies do it. I feel with this Doctor Strange, I think they did a good job with having that identity of America Chavez and knowing that she is of Hispanic heritage without really blowing it up in your face.
Except she's not. So they did. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
American Chavez, they didn't throw her identity in your face.
Right.
Also, she's not Hispanic. She's Puerto Rican, but from another planet. So no, she's not Puerto Rican.
Just a different version of Earth. You completely missed that. She's just from a different version of Earth.
Right, but that
we never went to any other planets in this movie.
That doesn't mean Puerto Rico exists on that Earth.
And it's a multiverse, Chris. Puerto Rico probably exists in multiple universes.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is none of this ethnicity stuff should matter. Make original characters. America Chavez is an original character.
She's not an original
character. Make original characters with these different ethnicities, but don't make it so important that they're so different. Because look, kids are going to relate to the people that they like. You know what I mean? Like if this person's got badass powers and they want those powers, people are going to be able to relate to that no matter what they look like. I wanted to be
Chris,
Michael Jordan. All right.
That's a little
My
bit
mom
different.
wouldn't let me paint myself black
that's
for
a little-
Halloween. I was like
That's
8 years
a little
old.
And that's good. That's good.
I'm glad you
I didn't
decided
know any
not to do
different.
that.
I didn't know any different. I still wanted to be Michael Jordan. I wanted to be Shaquille O'Neal. I wanted to be all these people. Like your color doesn't matter, and don't and let
Right,
make a
but if
character,
you're
make a strong
inspired,
character
Chris,
for the
if you're
values
going
and
to
everything, and it
inspire
doesn't matter what they
people-
look like, man.
Comic books are in a small part about inspiring people to be better than what they are. Now, if you're going to
Sure.
inspire
Yeah, totally.
like
That's
a young
just
brown
stories.
girl, guess what? Superman does not inspire a young brown girl. She
True,
doesn't
they're
say, "Oh, one day I want to grow up and be that."
You don't know
Right.
that? That's racist.
That's not
You don't
racist.
know that?
not.
Look, I can
You don't know
identify
that.
with Superman. I can identify
You've never
with
been a brown
Batman.
girl.
Yeah.
I do not identify with Miss Marvel. I don't.
Right.
I never will. I'm not a
I
young
think-
brown girl from New Jersey.
Yeah, and I think Steve just hit it a nail on the coffin, right? It's also it goes deeper into colors or what race they are, but it's also their story, right?
Yes, that's
'Cause
what
again,
I'm saying.
But
That's
it's
exactly what I'm
their
saying.
story relates to who, like, their ethnicity is also part of their story. Like that's part of their character. Like if Superman did not decided to be raised in a farm and blah blah, and decide he was raised in, I don't know, L.A.
And
or
not
New
like
York or
raised by
whatever the
Reed
case.
Richards type people.
You know, Avery. There's actually a Superman comic called Superman Red Sun. It doesn't change him from being white, but instead of crashing into Kansas, he crashes in
Germany.
Siberia.
Or Siberia, yeah.
Yeah, it completely changes his story.
Right. Yeah. But it's like I feel it's important. Also, no.
Is that the one
really
where he
quick.
becomes a Nazi?
No, it's where he becomes
no.
a
Just
Soviet.
Yeah,
I'm not,
okay,
I don't
Soviet
know the
Union.
story, but I know that's a thing.
But yeah, I feel like identity in comics, it's important. Like it's just okay. Like for me, for example, right? I love Batman. Batman's one of my favorite DC characters, and I love Spider-Man, one of my favorite DC characters. But I have to say, when Into the Spider-Verse came out and I saw Miles Morales, I was able to relate so much more to Miles Morales Spider-Man than I was to Peter Parker Spider-Man. And it just not only because of because he was black or half black and Mexican, but it's just because they created that character for people like me, honestly. Like they created people that, again, if you want, like Steve said, if you want your little brown girl to relate to a superhero, then you have to create a character that she can relate to and she can grow up with.
Miles Morales is the perfect example of this. Why not make Miles Morales his own superhero and not be a tokenized version of Peter Parker?
But he is his own superhero.
But he's
like
he literally got bit by a spider. He is Peter Parker. And like, sure, he's got his own background and everything, but his superpowers are the origins of his superpowers are pretty much the same, 1-to-1.
But his powers are also different, and there's the actual Peter Parker Spider-Man still exists in the same universe as Miles Morales Spider-Man. Like he's his own Spider-Man.
Right. I'm just saying. If you
Look, there's only so many names for superheroes that can exist.
hold on. What's that, Steve?
There's only so many names for superheroes that can exist.
Right.
That's why they need to hire Avery. Creativity is lacking. I think creativity is lacking in all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And they need to go and push themselves and become original. I was just listening to the other day. Chris, become original.
This is all based on, most of these movies are based on like 60 and 70 years of comic book history.
No, they're all based on
the
movies nowadays are all based on like the last 10 years of comic book history.
When they try and come up with original stuff, they kind of crap on that history. It's, Kevin Smith actually talks about this in one of his Evening with Kevin Smiths. They brought him in and asked him to write stories about Superman. And one of the first things he says is, well, why are you hiring me? Mm-hmm. You've got people out there that have been writing Superman for 60, 70 years.
Good on him.
There are stories out there.
Good on him.
We don't want to use those. Those people don't know anything about making movies. Well, I argue that they do know something about making interesting stories.
Okay, why not bring
Otherwise,
those writers
comics
in
wouldn't
to work with
exist.
Kevin Smith to make the movies and write the stories? Like they could work together.
No, you bring in a writer to write a script. Why not tap someone who's been writing comic books? They know comic books. They know these characters.
Right.
We're not going to agree on this, Chris.
I think a lot of the I think
also you have to remember, I don't go to movies for politics. You and my wife, you guys both love to read that stuff into it. I go to be entertained.
Entertainment. Yeah.
So that's why I love The Northman. There was none of that shit in it. You know,
well, white guy on white guy violence. I mean, it's,
I'm about to say, it's pretty clear that it's a Viking movie.
And you know what?
Yeah,
and we had white slaves, and we had all that stuff. Like, yeah, sure, I can get political about it, but it doesn't. It's not what's being politicized today. Everything is so politicized today.
Well, it's also
like, could you imagine if they were trading black people in the Northmen? Like, what would that have done?
No, because the story was not set in a time when boats could get that far.
Right? Yeah. It's a whole different time.
You give those characters 100 years, completely different story.
They could have done it for diversity's sake. Just saying. They could look. We've got a Netflix. We got a Netflix show right now with Black Vikings. That's the thing. Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know what that's called.
Yeah. Like, is like a different
Momento?
Is it like an alternate universe, like an alternate Earth type timeline where like a lot of movies do? Like, I know there's a
what is it called?
Black Western movie. It's kind of the same thing where it's technically
on
not
Netflix. Yeah, that was fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, it was great. I love it.
I would argue there were black people in the Old West. They existed.
Were.
Oh, so
they
you
were.
know.
Oh, yeah.
But not in a sense like how they were portrayed in that movie.
We need more Blazing Saddles.
I bet you there were a few gunslingers.
There were a few.
As a matter of fact, gender appropriation or race appropriation, the Lone Ranger is based on a famous historic black sheriff.
That's true.
Who traveled around with an Indian, I think, not necessarily Tonto.
Hold on, Tonto. We talking about Johnny Depp?
The Lone Ranger.
The Lone Ranger.
I know Johnny Depp.
Well, yeah, Johnny Depp played Tonto. I mean, that's something. Look, that's something to unpack another day.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So the show is Valhalla on Netflix.
Okay.
And they just added.
It's a sequel to, or it's something to do with the original Vikings, because it's Vikings Valhalla. I haven't watched it yet because
Vikings Valhalla for sure. Yeah. But like
once I finish watching Vikings, I plan on watching it.
They just throw all this stuff in here for I don't want to say social media points because I feel that's not correct.
And that's your
virtue signaling. It's virtue signaling.
That's your viewpoint. That's not everyone's viewpoint, Chris. Some people watch a show just because they want to watch a show.
It's true.
I just want to watch a show.
Then just watch the show, bro.
Yeah.
Just watch the show.
Don't reading too much into it.
Yeah, don't read into it. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to see some of these things, so you see them.
Okay,
damn.
I hear that. I hear that. I've heard that for a while. I don't know. I see agendas and stuff.
We'll just stop seeing
And
that.
I'm not denying that there aren't agendas out there in some of this stuff, but there's also times when there isn't. It's just it just is what it is.
Right. Just think of any movie you watch, any Marvel movie, whatever. Just remember, if you're watching like Fast and Furious, don't think about it, because once you start thinking about the logic of Fast and Furious, that's when you ruin the experience of Fast and Furious. Just don't think about it.
That's the great thing about
Fast and the Furious threw logic out the window about what 5 movies ago. I think Tokyo Drift was the last thing that existed in the physics of our universe.
So that's the thing. That's the thing about Fast and the Furious, though. That's the lore of Fast and the Furious.
That you can drive a car in space.
Yes, so that you can do bullshit. That you can jump between buildings and in your vehicles and all of this
Islands.
stuff.
They jump between islands. We don't need no stinking bridges.
I didn't
We
see
don't
that
know
one.
stinking
Which
bridges.
one's
Watch
that?
the last one.
That's
the
the
last
last
one
one.
I
is
haven't.
ridiculous.
Okay,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one. The last one I saw
Cars
was
in
Hobbs and Shaw.
space.
Yeah.
Car that
Pretty
can
I haven't
jump
seen
from
that
one
one.
island to another island. Yeah, no.
Right. It's pretty
I
crazy.
just randomly
Physics
watch
does
them when
not
they show up
exist
on
in their
some streaming
universe.
service, and I watch.
You
them. I
want to
watch them
talk
all.
about a multiverse of madness? Let's talk about that last Fast and the Furious movie because that is madness.
Okay,
It's
we're
straight.
going long. I want to talk about this. Also, I'm just gonna end on this.
Let's do it because
Supposedly,
we're at 1 hour 35. Yeah, let's go ahead
supposedly,
and wrap it up.
supposedly The Rock and that big ass fucking white guy that I can't think of his fucking name of.
Jason Statham.
No.
Oh, you
Vin
can't
Diesel.
see me.
Vin
Oh,
Diesel.
Vin Diesel. Oh, okay.
They're getting along again.
I mean, I'm
And
pretty
so-
sure they got along the whole time. They were just causing drama for media's sake,
Hey,
just so they can bring
Who
hype.
knows? You know what? You know what? Actually, so I remember. I don't remember the details, but there definitely seemed to be some legitimate drama between the two of them. Which, go figure, two big ass fucking meatheads having issues.
Sure, Vin Diesel's all like, you're
Who's
breaking up,
surprised?
Vin Diesel's like, you're breaking up the family by doing your own franchise. Rock's all like, dude, whatever. This is movies, bro. I don't give a fuck about family.
Yeah, but like we might get another one with Rock and Vin Diesel. So we might get Fast and the Furious 11, and they bring the family back. Just no Paul
Well,
Walker.
it's 10. 10 is supposed to be the
10 would
last
be-
one,
Yeah.
and I truly hope.
I hope so,
News
too.
this news came out in the last week, so who knows? And it's like they're gonna stop. They're just printing fucking money with those movies.
No, I need them to stop. I need them to stop like immediately.
I just found out this last week they stopped making Sharknado.
That's fine.
We
I'm
talked
okay
about
with
that,
that.
and that's a good thing.
Yeah, we talked
That's
about
good.
that. I'm fine with
I think with the sixth one, we said everything we had to say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch all those right now. So on that note, if you enjoyed
On
this
that note.
conversation and you like what you saw, leave a like, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and check out some of the stuff we put out. Until next time, stay nerdy.
Keep it nerdy.